How to create an educational Wix website. Hey everyone, welcome. I hope you're all doing great. In this video, I will show you step by step how to do so, starting with creating the actual website with Wix and also how to set it up accordingly. Now, I'm not going to cover in much detail. This is just going to cover the basics of each thing that you need to keep an eye out for, basically. So it should get you started, but then you're going to need to do more research about specific topics within each basic thing that I'm going to cover, basically. Hopefully that made sense. Anyways, to start off, you want to go to wix.com, and then from here, we're going to create our account for free. So just go ahead and sign up for free for Wix. And also creating a website is going to be completely for free until you decide you want to upgrade and remove, watermarks and get more access to things. But to get started, you're going to go to the sites option here from the dashboard after you actually create your account, obviously. And then just click on create new site from the top right or in the middle, depending on where you actually find it. Just go ahead and click on create new site. And by the way, before we get started, I just need to note something because on the top of my screen on the left, it says Wix Studio, but we're not going to be creating a site with Wix Studio. This is going to be for a default Wix website, and we're not using Wix Studio. There's going to be differences between the two, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. So click on create new site once you're ready, and this is going to allow us to start setting up our site. This in this case is going to be for Wix Studio, so I'm just going to skip this and build with the default Wix editor like we said. So I'm just going to click on that. The actual screen that you should be prompted with at first once you click on create new site is going to be this one, which is going to allow you to create a website with AI, meaning you're going to be able to answer a few questions, add a few prompts, and this is going to make the AI understand better what you are actually trying to create and create it for you. This is an option that you can go with, but I wouldn't say I highly recommend, but I highly personally like to set it up without AI. So I'm just going to click on setup without chat. It's just much easier for me this way. But you can feel free to go for any of them. But I'm just going to go set up without chat. And this is going to allow me to type in what type of website I want to create. So whether it's going to be a portfolio, an online store, a blog, what type of website you can actually create. So I'm just going to type in education and see if there's any, if I can find any type of templates that are related to education. And you can actually see educator, educational blog, educational video channel, video blog. There's plenty of things when it comes to education. So you can actually go ahead and select any of them, which is going to suit you best. So let's just go ahead and go for the top one here, which is educator. And by the way, this is not a mandatory step. You can actually go ahead and skip this from the bottom right, but I highly recommend that you go with it because this is going to allow you to set things up that are later on going to be useful for you and for your store. And if you skip this, you can still set them up, but you're going to have to do them manually and try to find them yourself. But this is just going to make things easier for us. So once you select a proper template, you can just go ahead and click on continue, and this is going to create the dashboard here for us. And like I said, it's going to show us more personalized information that we need to fill up for an educator site, which is the one that we just chose. So first we're going to be prompted to give the site a name. So I'm just going to name it explain space as an example, and I'm just going to click on continue. Now you may have less things show up here for you or more depending on what you chose earlier, but usually it's just going to be the same thing here. So what I'm going to add here is going to ask us some applications that we can add. So I'm just going to add the portfolio on to showcase, some stuff, but we can also go ahead and remove or add bookings if you want to start bookings. So if you want to set up more like courses, like live courses, you can set up the bookings one. Make sure it's selected. If you have a blog that you want to showcase, just go ahead and select blog. This is going to install the blog app for you. For example, you can also set up more things like online programs. So you can actually go ahead and set up courses with this if you want to, which I'm going to actually keep, or even online stores if you want to set up selling products, whether it's going to be digital or physical. It doesn't really make a difference. So I'm also going to set this up. So again, you can feel free to look through the different apps that they recommend and just select them if you want to install them. This is what I mean by making things easier for us, because if we did not go through these steps and we skipped them, uh, we actually had to do all of these things manually later on. So click on continue once you're done, and it should say you're all set. Continue to dashboard, and this should load up the dashboard for us, and we're going to be able to start editing our site. Now we're always going to start off with the setup page, which is going to tell us a few things that we need to set up, like connecting a custom domain, which is obviously a must later on. If you really want to take your business seriously, you want to add a custom domain, which you need to purchase. And then you can also feel free to add a project portfolio, design your website, and get found on Google and set up your SEO. But I'm just going to skip this entire thing and let you know exactly what you need to do. You are going to first set up the settings, or the most important settings when it comes to your Wix. So just going to scroll down from the left dashboard here and click on settings. This is going to allow you to set up more things, including the payments methods, or the payment methods that you're going to set up. So if you want to sell things or end up using courses and so on, you're going to be obviously getting paid. And to get paid, you need to set up some payment methods. So click on finance and payments and just find accept payments. Click on that. This is going to open up the different payment methods that you can set up for your country or your location. So for me in the UAE, I have the Stripe option as the main one to accept credit and debit card payments. So you want to click on connect and obviously connect it to your account. Same goes for PayPal, which should be present for you. And by the way, some things could be different for you. You may not find Stripe, you may find different payment methods. It all depends on your business location, which is located on the top right. And you can always just click on see more payment options, which is going to also provide you with more options like Google Pay, Apple Pay, and more depending on your location. So this is very important. Set them up accordingly. This way you can actually go ahead and accept payments. Next up, you're going to scroll down, and for the business solution, we can just skip this for the time being. We can also go to site, domain, and SEO. So you can obviously set up your domains, manage plans if you have the different subscriptions you want to go with, and so on. But I'm just going to go to the general option here, which is very important, and you want to click on business info. From here, you're going to set up your logo, and you're also going to set up the name and the category, which we already did. If you did not, you can also feel free to set it up in here, and a short description about your business and more information down here. So just make sure you fill these up. This way you can obviously be more optimized when it comes to your Wix website. And there's also more things here that you need to set up, but again, I'm not going to dive into much detail about specific things, so I'm just going to skip and go back to the home page here. Within the home page, we can start by designing our site right away. And to do so, from the home page, just click on the top right where you will find design site. This should appear as design site as the first time, but then later on, you can find edit site. So if you want to edit more things. So you're just going to click on design site, which is just going to open up the site designer here. And we have two different options, whether generate with AI. Again, you're going to type in some prompts, answer a few questions, and this is going to create a website for you. Or you can just click on customize a template, which again is easier for me, and it's better for me in reality. It's just going to be a lot easier. Instead of answering some questions, we can just find a template that suits us best and just adjust it later on. So I'm personally going to go with pick a template. Within the templates, you can feel free to just, browse templates that are available right now. You can even search for specific categories or specific templates if you would like by using the search bar. And this is obviously going to show you more options, for education and so on. So you can just type in education here. It's going to give you more matches for education instead of, random stuff. So for example, I typed in education and then selected courses and stuff like that, I believe, and it just showed me this one, which is great. I'm just going to use this. So click on edit site from the top right, and this should apply this template for you. Again, just pick the template that is going to be more closest to what you want your site to look like, because at the end of the day, we can feel free to customize this entire thing to be our exact website that we want to actually create. So the first time it's actually going to take a little bit more time to load in because it's going to install a lot of apps. As you can see, just going to give it a second and it's going to start installing some applications for our site, as you can see, like the portfolio, blog, and so on. So just go and give it some time, and once it's done, we can start editing our site and things like that. Okay, so that's done. Basically, the editor is very simple and easy to use because it's a drag and drop, and meaning you can actually go ahead and start adding anything or editing anything by just clicking on it. So for example, you don't like this text or you want to actually change the contents of this text. You just click on it and click on it, double click if you want to highlight the text, and just feel free to change it. So you can just change it, as you can see, and then you can always just click on edit text or any other element that is going to give you a box of settings here about it. So for example, this button, just click on for example, design, animated. If it's a link you want to set up, just click on the link option, or even change text. You have all of these options. And again, this applies on everything else. So just click on anything you want to change and just click on whatever you want. For example, change background here or change background there. If you want to change text, just click on it, and so on. This is for editing things, but if you want to add things, you just want to go to add elements from the top left and really add whatever you want when it comes to text, images, buttons, strips, which are pretty much empty spaces where you can add things to them or link things to them, like other elements like buttons or images and so on. And you have more things like interactive, like slides and so on. So we have all of these different things. And if you want to add events, you can also feel free to do so. Or if you want to add bookings, which we already set up, you can always just go to bookings here, and you can find the different types of bookings that you could possibly add. So all of these things you can actually add to your website, and you're going to have all of the different options to go with. Right now we are currently in the home page, but you have all these different pages depending on the template that you chose, and you can always just set them up accordingly with the pages and menus section from the left panel here. Now, if some of the things that we added, like the bookings or the store, you don't actually find, you will need to go to add apps, and you are going to be able to add them from here depending on whatever app that you actually want to go with. For example, if it's portfolio, just search for portfolio. If it's the store, just search for Wix stores, and you should be able to install it right away. So once you're done setting things up, you can always just save and obviously give it a proper suffix here, and then we can just go back to the dashboard, which is just going to take us back to where we were, and we are going to be able to always just set things up from here when it comes to the different blogs. When it comes to different booking services, just go to catalog here, go to booking services, and you're going to be able to set up the different services that you could create, like consultation, group meetings, and more things here as well. So this is all for this video. Hopefully you found it to be informative. Like I said, I don't dive into much detail about every single element, otherwise this video is going to be too long. But it showed you the basics and how to get started completely. And now you have a built foundation, and you just need to work your way on it, and you should be good to go. So hopefully you found this video to be informative, and thanks for watching.